Hey there guys, it's your good pal Wiggly, and welcome back to more Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Blind. In the last episode, we got to investigate the second crime scene and finished up our investigation there, where we discovered that not only was Miles Edgeworth also at the second murder scene, but we also discovered that Jake Marshall was probably at that murder scene as well. So who knows what's up with that? I have an idea, but I can't prove it quite yet. But in this episode, we're going to be continuing forward to Day 3, Trial Former. Once again, these trials are cut into 2 parts, essentially giving us 6 trials. Sneaky way to do that. February 24th, 9:41 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Aw, Valentine's Day is almost here. So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. Actually, Valentine's Day might be earlier in the month, but I don't know offhand. Anyway, after all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. Oh, Lana, hello. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. That doesn't make any sense at all. Lana. Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So, how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. Interesting. Okay, that's probably a good idea, though I don't think Meekins did it either. We need to get to the bottom of this. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Sky. So, like, what do you remember? We've never gotten your side of it. Like, you said, all you've told us is, I did it, I stabbed him, and now you seem to be, like, shifting backwards on that. You're backpedaling a little bit. So, what happened from your perspective on that day? We need to know. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Fingerprints. Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? So, yeah, I don't think Marshall killed Goodman. Well, I mean, he might have, but that doesn't explain the body of Goodman being in the trunk. I think Jake Marshall was an imposter, Goodman. Maybe he stabbed himself, but that's a lot of blood. I don't know what's going on exactly. I don't have enough to theorize. I apologize. I'm kind of running in circles. We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Ms. Sky? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Okay, I need to stop thinking, and I need to just go. I need to fly by the seat of my pants in another trial. I'm ready. My voice is prepped. I actually did vocal warm-ups this time. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... What? I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What more, I heard the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. We need to also see... If we could see that tape, that might also help us out. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. That's a very grounded way of looking at it. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? I mean, confidence gets you pretty far, Phoenix. Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls The suspect of the... Oh, okay, this is interesting. We very rarely get to actually, like, cross-examine the suspect himself directly. The suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Like, so interesting thing I've noticed over time about the Phoenix Wright universe. It's incredibly rare that the prosecution actually directly cross-examines the defendant, which is a very normal thing in court, but in this universe it's pretty much just defense and witnesses. So it's kind of cool being able to actually, like, involve the defendant, because, like, Will Powers never spoke in the trial, like, ever. I guess Maya didn't really speak in her trial much. Larry did in the first one, and Edgeworth didn't speak a whole lot in the fourth. A bit, but not a lot. So it's kind of cool getting to actually, like, directly hear from the suspect. Yes, sir. I am Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be murder. What? Meekins? This is almost as bad as Larry's beginning. So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. What? I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir. Ah, god damn it. I was really hoping that we weren't going to have to hear that sound effect this whole trial, but I guess we will. Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is, sir, I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that in order. Yes, sir, as you wish. Okay, he's easy to play. I kind of like Meekins. He's weird. After all, I am part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. What? You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. That would make him a millennial if this game takes place in, like, the late 2000s. Do we know what year this happened? I think we do. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. So, okay, does self-defense work in this? I mean, we had a bit of a self-defense thing happen in Turnabout Samurai, with Dee Vasquez, but she got charged also because she, like, lied about it as well. So, I don't know. But I feel like having a knife pulled on you and you just struggling to defend yourself shouldn't be an issue. But again, I don't know how Japanese court works. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. Why is that your family motto? That's a terrible motto. I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. We do. Okay. You didn't give us much to work with here, Meekins. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes, now there's a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. What? The Blue Badger? Yes, sir, the lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir. What do you mean, guard it? Oh, God. It was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. Okay. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. Okay, so just a fucking, just dangle the keys. Here's your mission. Give your little brother the controller that's unplugged. type deal. I see. Sounds like a very, important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. Okay. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? Yes, we need to fill out the rest of this sheet. There it is! I found it! This is the one right here. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir. It's 498-9596. That's my number, sir. I see. Huh. But the number is 498-9596. It's shown as being used twice. Why? Huh? I didn't realize that. Who's 7777777, by the way? Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room, and the second time is when I went in... Okay, I guess that makes sense. But then how... Oh, God. Well, okay, no, actually... Okay, I've got another piece of evidence linking Jake Marshall to this whole thing. When we met Jake Marshall, it was while the ID, the wallet, was on the ground. And it was pretty far away from the body in the underground parking lot. So he probably dropped it or something. Interesting. Okay. And the second time was when I went to go get him after everything settled down. I see. So it was during that second time when... Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen. Okay. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir. A knife. Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you? What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. Okay. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Okay, so you got cut with the knife. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life. Okay, tell us more about this struggle. What exactly do you mean when you said you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. Okay, Meekins. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife. I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. See. He must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then the next thing I knew... Wait a minute. Hold on. White coat. What? What's happening, dude? Yes? He punched me right in my face, sir. Why don't you have any injuries? After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. Who found you? About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. Okay, so it was 15 minutes after the murder happened. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice. It's nice that you recovered, that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned into the entrance before things got out of hand, but then you also, after that, you went and delivered a report to Edgeworth where you were the murder suspect? That's so weird. Well, we can all rest easy now. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yeah, we can't just like slide this under the rug. There's no way for the police department, if they did frame this whole thing, there's no way for them to just be like, oh, we'll just convict both of these people of murdering the same guy. It'll be fine. We can't just do that. Yes, Officer Meekins? With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Is it the tape? Please show us the tape. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. I'm sure he did. The chief delivered it. What is that? Videotape? Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. And I think that's what we were told, too. Oh my god, Gant is such a scumbag. There's no way he's innocent. 0% chance. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word, murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? I mean, as a defense attorney, I'm sure you're going to see plenty of these. Whoa, it's actually a movie. That's crazy. Okay, I thought it was just going to be like still images. 33, 34. This is so cool. Oh my god, Blue Badger, you suck. Why are you covering that face? Damn, Meekins. Whoa, 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 that wasn't... That doesn't look like you murdered him, Meekins. That looks like you got assaulted, but also... Also, we don't see Goodman leave. What? What happened? Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? From the Blue Badger. What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that's the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going as smoothly? Yeah. Oh, God. Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone in the evidence room, and some sort of, activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir, as you wish, sir. This dude's ready to just go to prison. If it's what he's told to do. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, obviously. But there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. Not true. I have an idea of how to proceed forward. Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock, except it's possible to break into them. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Does it say that in the indicator lamp? I didn't check the indicator lamp on the video, but I'm not sure how important that is. There's also a screwdriver? What's this about? Okay, I don't think that's super important yet. I think I have to present the evidence locker on the last one, but... Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Okay. His face can't be clearly seen in the video. tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? So, sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe it would be classified as the latter. The latter, but you were just standing right in front of him, weren't you? More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people talking with them, you see. Wait a minute, there was also the white something or other sticking out of the one locker with Marshall's handprint. There's that, too. Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. Still, I'm sure it was him. I'd bet my badge on it. But there's no question that other person with Detective Goodman, sir. That's... But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label him as having seen or not seen it, since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. Well, why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or... Meekins. What the hell, Meekins? Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir. You aimed the man who brandished the knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. Okay, hold on. Can I watch the video again? Give me a second, I'm gonna do this. I just want to check something. Okay, so first thing I'm noticing is that, okay, the glove fell out. The lamp was already lit up before Goodman, quote unquote, got there. And now I want to check the time here after the whole ordeal. 1, 2. Pans back over. Okay, the time is seamless. That's what I wanted to check. I wanted to check and see if there was like a skip in time of when Goodman, quote-unquote, could have left, but I did get to see that the indicator light was on before Goodman got there, and I feel like that's pretty important. Okay. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to fingerprints, sir. Registered fingerprints, sir. I wonder what kind of methods he's tried. If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to. Exactly my point, sir, and this too. The locker he opens undetectably. Goodman's locker, sir. It must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. Okay. Let's press on these first just to see what other information we can get. How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know. The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. Oh, poor guy. For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So the victim opened up the locker with his own fingerprint. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video, the man's face. So, sir, if I may say something, sir. Please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock, and it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? There is a problem. Regarding the video contained on this tape, There is one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange. This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. Yes. What? This video contains such a contradiction. Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out. Well, of course. Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. I have to point out a problem in the video. This is the first time I've ever had to do that. We've done it with pictures, so you can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so that you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video, thank God. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer? Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman? Okay. It is right here. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins. Sir, do you mean me, sir? As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. Thank God I rewatched the video. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint, sir. Oh my God, I added a sir. I'm totally in Meekins mode. If it's a match... I want to look further. Who is that lady in Gumshoe's locker? Who is this? I need to know. The light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Because the light's on. Are we playing the whole video again? When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. Oh my God, please. I hate this song. Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. I love that little scream he does. Order, order, what's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered. But what if there's a security breach? What if this whole thing is a conspiracy that starts at the top of the police department? Maybe. And the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know. It must have been broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor. Yes, why wasn't the locker locked? I mean, I don't know, but it wasn't. Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Ms. Scientific Investigator? Yeah, Emma, what do you got? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the system's sensor? Something jammed the sensor. Say, there's something else in that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage. Oh boy. Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause for this. Okay, I don't know. What is the cause? Oh boy. I have no idea. Oh, I got it. Aha. Was this sticking out of the locker? Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Let's go. Let's go. I was a little nervous about having to examine footage, but this is going pretty smoothly. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open up my car door, sir. We can't be sure the item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? True. You can't see it poking out in this video. Also, I noticed that over here on the left, the cloth isn't sticking out of the locker yet. It's got to be the coat, right? This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. So your tie gets stuck in the door, and then you roll after that? Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me, but the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Poor Meekins, man. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. I mean, rubber. Yes, an insulator, but at the crime scene, there just might have been something that fits the description. But, sir, by insulator, you don't mean... I think I finally got this figured out. Very well, will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was the insulator that was stuck in the locker door? It was this glove. Right here, this rubber glove. I didn't actually realize it was made of rubber, so this works out great. I found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove. But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It has the tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins? Sir, it would appear so, sir. Order, order, order. So are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman? I do not think so. Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Sir, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Jeez. Prepping your fucking witnesses. Is this a joke? Very well, begin your testimony. Okay, what now? Mystery Man 2. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. Well, yeah, but we found the ID card at the underground parking lot. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used this card. And you can see it on the sheet. An ID card record. I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. Yeah. The ID used at 514 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? That's a great point, actually, Judge. This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? extremely violent cases involving police staff. Oh? Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination. Okay. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. So unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Yes, sir. Solid as stone, sir. If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even give the V for victory sign, sir. I mean, your left hand's. What, or your right hand, I mean. Couldn't he just use his right hand for that? Exactly, Emma. Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. Is that card hanging... Well, that was the wrong voice. Is that card hanging from your neck one of those ID cards? Yes, sir. This card right next to my cuff, sir. I like how he's also saluting in the exact same way in the ID card. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it. But what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that? Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Probably not. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time, it's my ID card that gets stuck. So always. Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer only has one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to that. Please proceed with your testimony. Okay. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. Let it be noted that this is the record the witness referred to. Let me see. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman? What's the matter? According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here. So it is, Your Honor. Okay. I mean, not that prosecutor again. Hey, maybe he's behind all this. Being a prosecutor, he could hide the evidence. Oh my god. People. Oh. You've got the wrong color. Oh, I just realized it said the man in blue. Jesus Christ. It would seem the inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. It must be so difficult for him. Actually, though, genuinely. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. This is a good point. But maybe he just panicked? Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out. Mr. Wright, what do you think? I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we've got. Okay. To ensure, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. The detective had used his ID card. Okay. Can I just present the ID card and be like, I found this way far away? Okay. We have a lot of evidence to look through. Okay. I'd like to know what Edgeworth went in there for. That's not important yet. And none of this is important. Do we just... Yeah, looks like it. Okay. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. I appreciate that the game nudged me in the right direction, saying you're thinking too hard about it, because I definitely was. I knew that the ID card was not... I figured that out a while ago. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. Lost item report. It's only half completed. Oh, but also it's... okay. But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. But then he, scratched out the second number because he got it wrong and threw it away, so that's kind of weird. Order, so now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Exactly. Order. Does this prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. But bravo. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murderer in the evidence room is also a fake. In other words, the security guard camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Okay, what do you got, Edgeworth? Well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means the murderer did not take place, which means that we proved that Lana must have killed Goodman. Right? Is that what you're getting at? At the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot, at the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Ms. Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness, debatable, observed the moment that the defendant used the murder weapon. But we need to bring up the bloody handprint. Where did all this blood come from? That's the thing we need to know. It can't all just be from Meekins' hand. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered, and where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something or else Lana...
What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? We have to object. One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. We also did not see what happened after. We don't see the bloody handprint get put on the wall. Or anything of the sort. Oh, and there's the... I just noticed a cloth appear later in the video. However, it cannot be said that this is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. Yes, we need to explain the blood. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor?
If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
The prosecution considered the incident in the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident.
This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Yeah, the guard to the police, to the evidence room, who was suspiciously absent, riding his horse down the highway or whatever. Mr. Wright, do you mean, Your Honor? The defense would like to request a specific witness.
Oh, whom do you have in mind?
Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room.
The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name?
Really? It's a Texas Ranger. Can you not figure this out? Officer Jake Marshall.
Why him?
I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say.
The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department.
We need to know what Jake Marshall says that he was doing during that time, because I'm convinced 100% that he is the fake Goodman.
We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is
subpoenaed. I forgot that that's how that's spelled. I've heard the word said many times, but I very rarely see it spelled.
Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time?
We will, Your Honor.
Court is now in recess.
Okay. We've made progress, and it didn't take an extremely long amount of time. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out, yeah. I know enough to go forward, but we never know everything before a trial. 0% of the time. Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma, you always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Hi, Gumshoe. Good timing. Break the air. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Okay, bye, Gumshoe. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here? I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, Detective. Okay.
You'd better be, pal.
Hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked? Oh ho. You mean this, right? Gumshoe, what are you doing? What is this? Is this SL9, please? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. Oh, my name? Okay. Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? Thank God, we need to figure out what is happening. I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Everybody in this case, just about, seems to be involved in SL9. Except Emma and Lana, I think. No, didn't they say Lana and Goodman worked together on SL9 too? Emma doesn't seem to be involved, but like everybody else seems to be. Here, you might do well to read them. Angel's involved, Marshall's involved. I can't believe the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. Witness? Okay. Ms. Sky was a witness? for the Joe Dark killings solved 2 years ago. Okay. Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. That's right, they mentioned it was a serial. Okay, so Joe Dark is a serial killer then. Okay, we need to... What do we got? What do we got here? Okay, 4 pages. Incident number SL9, closed. Perpetrator Joe Dark, crime, serial murder, sentence, death. Victims Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, and Neil Marshall. Interesting. Okay, I can see why Jake Marshall might be so fired up then. And we also noticed in the past that there was, in that flashback, there was a second person with a cowboy hat. Is that Jake's brother or something? Trial data, head prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, witnesses Lana Skye, Emma Skye. Okay, everyone in this case except Phoenix and maybe the judge are involved in this case. Yeah, even Gant. Investigation Task Force, and executive investigators Damon Gant, Lana Skye, head investigator Bruce Goodman, investigators Jake Marshall, Angel Star. How can you be a witness and the executive investigator? That seems like that shouldn't be allowed, but also, I don't know. Yeah, so literally everybody except Judge and Phoenix, unless Judge was the judge in this case and he just forgot or something. Oh my god. Okay. Neil Marshall is an interesting tidbit. None of these other names mean anything to me, though. Jeb Bates. Okay. Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma, but why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. Okay. So the last victim, the one that broke the straw on the camel's back, was another Marshall. The Joe Dark... No, Lana. That's over with. No! Emma, wait, she ran away. Oh god, Emma, what happened? You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Bye, Gumshoe. I don't blame you. Jake Marshall, Angel Star, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. Yeah, this is sus as hell, dude. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. Thank you, Lana. I appreciate this very cold way of telling me that you trust me. Thank you. Because we knew that there was something fishy going on with this whole case, too. So it's time to solve 2 cases again. And this time it's much more complicated than DL6. I better take a good look at this file. Okay. To be continued. Things are getting spicy. I'm really, really, really digging this case. And I was really worried about it after the first testimony from Angel, which I think was just kind of like all over the place and really labyrinthian and kind of whack. But ever since then, it's been a pretty smooth ride for the most part. So this is a lot of fun. I love this case. I don't know if I'd say I like it more than Turnabout Goodbyes, but it has the potential. It's better than Turnabout Goodbyes in some ways, just in that it's like a lot more complicated, a lot more moving parts, and it's a lot of fun in that sense. But like, it's kind of hard to compete with that case in its amount of emotional buildup over the course of like the whole game, you know? Who knows, though? Maybe this will turn out to be my favorite case in the game, and I did not expect to say that. But, yeah. Anyway, Thank you all for watching this episode of Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Blind. I've been Guildmaster Wiggly. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like. If you are new, consider subscribing. If you want to follow my Twitch, Twitter, or join my Discord, they're all in the description. And I hope to see you all in the next one when we take on Trial Ladder and investigate or cross-examine Jake Marshall.